मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, daily COVID-19 testing to prevent resurgence. Saw residents reflect on lockdown period, and nightclub operators face tough times.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Ministry of Health says it will continue to conduct COVID-19 testing on a daily basis to ensure any resurgence of the virus is nipped in the bud. The Health Ministry says their testing capacity have received a boost with the 360 Gene Expert Kit that will allow them to obtain results in less than an hour. And the minister responsible says they are not lagging behind in the efforts to continue and defuse the killer virus. Koretandulala reports.
The new test kit will allow Fiji to up the ante in COVID-19 testing with the 360 Gene Expert running alongside the initial reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction.
It can turn around within 45 minutes. So at the moment, Fiji Center for Disease Control, our molecular lab, they're going through their testing and validation until when they're ready, and then we can begin this wholesomely.
Later next week, 10,000 tests of PCR diagnosis test kits donated by the Chinese government and medical supplies donated by the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries by our local government, Guangdong Province.
Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wangainambete says the mobile team are currently on the ground conducting house checks and collecting swabs from those displaying any symptoms.
We also know that we will continue to receive regularly the ability to be able to do this testing. We want to also ensure that that we build that capacity around this, because as you said, the turnaround is fast.
14 out of the 18 COVID-19 patients have recovered from the virus, placing Fiji's recovery rate at 78%. The health minister says Fijians should continue following the COVID-19 measures to ensure there are no new cases of the virus in the country. Koretandulala, FBC News.
2 days after coming out of the COVID-19 lockdown, residents of Soasoa and Lambasa are taking life from a different perspective. Eleanor Tarangaivu spoke to some residents who shared their experiences and the lessons learned during the 28-day lockdown period, which ended on Saturday.
It's exactly a month today since this community, consisting of 96 families, was placed under lockdown after one of its residents tested positive for COVID-19.
At the beginning, it was kind of like boring, but then during the lockdown, I found that we were able to spend a lot of time with our family members, and we were able to also clean up our compound and do a lot of work.
For this family, the 28 days lockdown period was basically family time.
After 5 years, all my family members, we were together, we were sitting together, and when Ramzan started, we were staying together, pray together, and we eat together, and it was a good time.
For others, the lockdown period was a chance to rebuild relationships, which due to busy work and life schedule had seemed faded.
Before we normally return home from work, we just eat, sleep and prepare ourselves for the next day. However, the 1-month lockdown allowed us to spend quality time with our family.
Despite the movement restriction, residents are grateful that the lockdown meant preventing the spread of COVID-19.
I felt the most important thing about being locked down is being safe.
The residents have also expressed appreciation and gratitude for the assistance rendered by government, police, the Ministry of Health and the various businesses and organizations.
Those people brought food, groceries, everything were there, so we were happy even in lockdown.
Residents also testified to the great communityship experience during the lockdown period, and they have learned to appreciate things much more. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
A 35-year-old man was charged with multiple counts of rape and attempted rape of an 8-year-old and 2 9-year-old nieces. This was revealed in statistics for April released by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. In 2 similar cases, a 56-year-old man allegedly raped and indecently assaulted his 9-year-old niece, while a 39-year-old man has been charged with raping his 10-year-old niece. There was one incident where a 33-year-old man was charged with the rape and sexual assault of a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old. The accused was a family friend. A 12-year-old boy was charged with the sexual assault of a 6-year-old girl from the same village last month. The juvenile was one of 12 people charged with 35 incidents of serious sexual offences in April. A 57-year-old retired school teacher from Beddoes Place in Samambula Suva died following a motor vehicle accident. Police confirmed the victim was driving near Mbambavode along Kings Road in Tailevu on Saturday when he allegedly lost control of his vehicle, which veered off the road. The victim and his partner were rushed to the Corvo Hospital where they received treatment. However, the retired school teacher passed away yesterday morning. The road death toll stands at 9 compared to 19 for the same period last year. Nightclub owners are doubtful whether business will return to normal once government restrictions are lifted. The capital city's vibrant nightlife has been over for almost 2 months, leaving DJs, bouncers, waiters, music and light technicians out of a job. Pranita Prakash spoke to 2 nightclub owners.
A question that is nagging the owner of Deep Sea Entertainment is how many patrons will return once nightclubs reopen.
To get back into the business, you need the patrons to come back in and they need to get jobs to be able to spend.
Night sports were ordered to close on March 19th, leaving many vibrant, bustling parts of Fiji eerily quiet, a sight no operator would have ever anticipated.
All my life I worked for other companies. I formed my own company in 2004, it's about 16 years now, and I have no other plan B in place. I didn't anticipate the business to close this long, and any further closure may result in permanent closure for me because I won't be able to sustain it.
In the 2 clubs, we probably have about 60 odd staff, and I think a good maybe 80% of them have been laid off temporarily.
Some operators are using the shutdown period to give their clubs a facelift.
We've taken this opportunity also to do some renovation and some little bit of upkeep of our nightclub, hopefully in the hope that when we do open very soon, our customers should be able to walk into a nice, newly renovated and fresh nightclub. Right?
These nightclub owners said they have lost substantial amount of revenue, but despite the challenges, most agree the restrictions are necessary to protect Fijians as COVID-19 pandemic has created havoc in many countries. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Up ahead, North tops restriction breach arrests, and China donates medical equipment.
Radio Fiji One nandom.
Supplementary student resources are now available. The Ministry for Education says the resources provided during the extended school break can now be collected from respective schools. Minister Rosie Akbar says heads of schools are strongly advised to comply with all the health and safety regulations in place and ensure there is no overcrowding, social distancing is maintained and hand sanitizers are available. The ministry is calling on parents and guardians to liaise with their heads of schools and follow the scheduled timetables to avoid overcrowding at schools and dissemination centres. 19 arrests were made last night for breaches of curfew, with the Northern Division recording 12. The Western Division recorded 5 cases, while the South recorded 2. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sithiven Ngilio says it's commendable that there were no reports of social gatherings in the last 24 hours. He adds, with the beginning of another week, police are hoping the high number of arrests made in relation to sporting activities last week will not be repeated. Fiji received over $230,000 worth of medical equipment from China, boosting our efforts to help protect the frontline health workers. Health Minister Dr. Feremi Wangainabete says the support from the Chinese government reflects the strong relationship between the two countries. The Chinese ambassador to Fiji says they are committed to helping Fiji protect its citizens from the deadly coronavirus.
This batch of medical supply includes 1,000 pieces of medical disposable protective clothing, 1,000 pieces of medical protective goggles, 100 pieces of infrared thermometers, 1,000 pieces of N95 protective face masks for medical use.
In the midst of all this crisis, humanity is still very strong. And for that, we are truly grateful to the People's Republic of China, for your officials, for the many other organizations within China that are supporting the fight in Fiji and also in the Pacific.
Turning overseas, the World Health Organization says dead lung cells could be what's causing people to test positive twice for COVID-19. It comes as governments look to ease their lockdown measures without causing a second wave of infections. China is heading back on calls over an independent inquiry into the origins of coronavirus, threatening economic sanctions on countries spearheading the movement. Leaked documents are accusing China of suppressing and even destroying evidence in the early days of the outbreak. And Whitney joins you now with business.
Thanks, Jackie. In business tonight, economists expect tough decisions in upcoming budget. And sanitary paper makers face reduced demand. Stay with us.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Leading business, the negative 4% economic growth forecast by the Reserve Bank could possibly place further financial burdens on the government in the next annual budget. As the government prepares to announce its 2020 to 2021 budget next month, economist Dr. Rohit Kishore says the Ministry of Economy may have to make some tough decisions. The COVID-19 response budget has already seen the state's loan obligations increase by about $1 billion.
With our revenue shrunk, with the economy now in recession, which means that businesses are not selling, they're not making money, the revenue is not generated, VAT income perhaps will be most affected, government revenue is affected.
There has been a general slowdown in the local demand for the sanitary paper. Manufacturers believe this is the result of panic buying in March after Fiji recorded its first COVID-19 case. Kritika Kumar reports.
Thousands of Fijians stocked up on toilet paper 2 months ago, causing a drop in sales which is expected to last another month or two.
Actually, in terms of our production, it's not really affected, but we saw a peak in sales in March when there was a rush to get, the people were stocking up thinking that, okay, lockdown will be for a prolonged period of time.
Another manufacturer, Asilio exports to about 16 countries, but clients overseas are also reporting a similar decline in sales due to COVID-19. Eldon Eastgate says the slowdown of the tourism industry due to the virus is impacting the business to some extent. However, the company is trying to make do with local demand.
We've definitely seen an effect with those hotels, restaurants, and what we call the away from home business, shutting or temporarily closing. Again, what we're trying to do is ensure that we're covering all other bases within that division.
He adds no staff has been laid off.
Over 100 full-time employees and a range of temporary casual workers that we use based on demand. And at present, they're all working tirelessly to ensure that we've got full supply.
Asilio buys raw materials from New Zealand, while EcoClean Fiji has supplies in China. Both companies say they are fortunate the supply chain remains open. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
We now join Sinifer from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock market.
Let's review the trading on the SPX platform last week. Approximately 48,000 shares were traded, amounting to more than $80,000. 6 listed entities recorded trading activities, with 4 noting share price movements. ATH Limited shares dropped by 18 cents and closed the week at $2.12. Fijicare Insurance shares rose by 25 cents to close at $3.10. Please Global Limited settled the week at $2.85, noting a 10 cents increase. Fijian Holdings Limited rose by 4 cents and concluded the week at $1.42. Following these various share price movements, the total market value dropped by 1.63% and concluded the week at a value of $3.68 billion. That's a wrap from our local stock market and from HFC Bank, Vinaka.
Turning to today's exchange rates as set this morning, the Fijian dollar fell against a number of currencies including the Chinese yuan, US dollar, the PNG kina, the euro and the Japanese yen. It gained against our major trading partners, the Aussie and the New Zealand dollar. Onto the commodities market, a significant drop in the price of crude oil, which closed at $18.44 per barrel. Gold increased, closing at $1,706 per ounce, while silver dropped slightly to $14.96 per ounce. That's it from Business Tonight. It's back to Jackie with the latest in sports.
Coming up, FRU pledges support for Beaumont. And chess turns to online platforms. This and more after the break.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Sir Bill Beaumont has been re-elected as the World Rugby Chair. The former England captain was voted back into the top job despite a vocal campaign from Argentinian opponent Augustin Pichot. Meanwhile, the Fiji Rugby Union has pledged its support for Sir Bill Beaumont. Beaumont will continue his run as chair for the next 4 years, with Fédération Française de Rugby President Bernard Laporte as the new vice chair. Tale Matairakula with the story.
Despite disappointment by New Zealand on Fiji's move to support Sir Beaumont, the FRU has made it clear they will work hand in hand with World Rugby.
The World Rugby Council has elected Bill Beaumont to continue for another term. And we will continue to work with him and Vice Chairman and likewise the Executive Council.
The Fiji Chess Federation has joined the global chess community in moving to online competitions amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. General Secretary Guru Arvind says this is one safety measure they've adopted and an alternative way to continue their scheduled events. Arvind says this will also allow all junior players to experience international competitions from their homes without incurring any travel costs.
We can field multiple players. Unlike if we had to fly them in abroad, we'd be sending fewer players because cost would be involved. But in this case, it's easier for us to rotate players. We can give more young players who have not represented Fiji before a chance to play online.
While sporting leagues across the world have been thrown into chaos, in Belarus the soccer season has carried on as normal. So far there have been nearly 17,000 infections and 99 deaths in the country. But the country's president has shrugged off concerns about the virus, claiming it can be warded off by vodka and saunas. Coming up in new media, a Chinese company has developed temperature-checking glasses to help in the fight against coronavirus. Details after the break.
I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
A new media and augmented reality company has developed glasses to help the fight against coronavirus. The device can take a person's temperature without ever breaking social distancing guidelines. And Kritika joins us now with weather.
It was a great start to the week as fine weather prevailed over most parts of the country today. Looking at the west, it was mostly humid as temperatures rose to around 33 degrees in some centers. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, sunny conditions prevailed throughout the day after about 9 days, but there is a chance of slight showers later tonight. Up north, beautiful conditions, it was sunny to partly cloudy. At sea, moderate to fresh southeast winds, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, low tide is at 10:04 p.m. and the next high tide is at 4:22 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:21. For tomorrow, cloudy with brief showers and possible thunderstorms over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from afternoon or evening showers. Tomorrow's temperatures, the west and north will remain above 30 degrees. Looking further on to Wednesday, mostly sunny weather with slight chance of showers at intervals.
Thanks so much for that, Kritika. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, what do you think of Sir Bill Beaumont's re-election as Rugby World Chair?
I think Bill will actually make a great leader and a face of the Pacific in the board of the World Rugby. He has been very passionate about Fiji and the development of young rugby players. So I think that's actually a good boost.
I think his appointment as chair is well deserved.
Well, it's good that he's supporting Fiji.
As long as there is good leadership at the top, I think he should be okay.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, 77% of parents at home with school-age kids think educators deserve a raise after trying to act as teachers during the lockdown. Recapping the main stories for tonight, daily COVID-19 testing to prevent resurgence. Sourcewell residents reflect on lockdown period and nightclub operators face tough times. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question segment last week we had asked, is the timing right to relax the curfew hours and resumption of domestic sea and air travel? 73% said yes. And this week we're asking, do you think Sir Bill Beaumont's re-election as World Rugby Chair was the right outcome? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, even the birds seem to be enjoying the sunset, sitting on the power lines in Votor level Carreras Nandi, sent in by Avnay Prasad. Be sure to show us what you've been up to during the lockdown and movement restrictions. Email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News, and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.